What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 12 of No One Can Agree. We're going to call this the Hurricane episode because Hurricane Harvey came through very destructive this past week. One of the most destructive hurricanes that ever hit the U.S. soil. My name is Joe Love. I'm the moderator. And with me on the panel, I have Judge and Devin. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Thanks,
Good
man.
as I could be given the
Glad to be
circumstances, man.
here.
It's all good.
Just a little side note for all you watchers. Judge is actually in Houston. He's based out of Houston. He lives there, so he was greatly affected. So he'll have some good insight on that. And Devin is from Houston, living in Dallas now, so he'll have some good insight as well. And I'm sure he has some family that was affected by that. But let's get right into it, gentlemen. Let's start. Hurricane Harvey. It hit. It hit hard. It got up to Category 4 storm categorized, and it touched down at Corpus Christi and moved on up uh, to the Houston area. I know San Antonio got a little rain as well, but not as much as they predicted. Uh, Dallas didn't get very much of anything of the effects of the hurricane. Uh, let's talk about the hurricane. What happened when it hit, when it got bad, and when all the flooding started. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and run with that, and then we'll get into some subtopics on things that happened during that time and the aftermath.
All right, so I guess I'll kick it
Well,
off. Well, you want to go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Devin,
bro.
before? All right,
Nah,
cool.
you got it, bro.
All right, so the hurricane came. I think had to be Friday night. I would say maybe Friday evening is when things got bad. I flew in from Columbus on Thursday, and so I made sure that my wife and everybody had everything squared away before I got home. So when I got in, we were ready to buckle down. And so I know the hurricane touched land, probably hit landfall early Saturday, but I think Friday is when we started to see the rain. I didn't actually hit the ground till a little bit after that. But so I would say Corpus and everybody on the coastline and the Galveston area probably saw it late Friday. By Saturday, it touched land, and as big as once it hit as a Category 4, it was you're talking about the outer band of the hurricane. And so the outer band of the hurricane is where all your storms and your surges and your tornadoes are, and all your rain, your heavy rain at that. And so we started to see the rain Friday evening, and it started hitting hard Saturday. I mean, literally all day Saturday. It'll go, and as it's turning, you'll have pockets where it won't rain. But you'll have your heavy rain, drenching, and then it'll pause it for a minute, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Then bam, 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 bam for 2 or 3 hours, and then and it's dropping mad inches of rain as it's doing it. And so in Houston and the surrounding areas, all of this is really marshland. It's not even it's not even really meant for a city to be built on it. If you're looking at it from a nature standpoint. And so when the rain and those bayous and those rivers and those lakes get that much water, it's a guarantee that it's going to flood. And this happens every single time it rains. I would say more than 10 inches. When we get more than 10 inches, rivers and things start to overflow a bit. Roads start to gather water. So if you got about 10 inches and you look at the end and we're looking at close to 50 inches of rain, you can imagine what it's going to look like all over the Houston city, metropolitan, and the surrounding counties.
Okay. So give me, what was the wind speed like What did that feel like when the storm was happening?
Here we probably didn't get no more than maybe, I don't know, maybe 35 miles an hour winds here in Houston, maybe. It may have been less than that. Again, when the wind was blowing and the rain was coming, wasn't nobody outside. At least I wasn't. I was looking out the window seeing things move as far as the tree branches. But that's as best I could tell you. But I think it might have been less than 30 because if the wind was blowing really fast, then the clouds would have moved. But the whole hurricane was sitting, and it was moving so slow that it wasn't doing nothing but just dropping rain. So
Gotcha.
now on the coast, I think it hit about 135 miles an hour in the Galveston, Corpus area of Valencia, Victoria, Texas, them areas.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now I noticed a lot of the news coverage for the hurricane is focused on Houston. Corpus Christi, I didn't really hear too much. I know they got hit, and I know that's where it hit land first. Did they get hit as hard as Houston, and then was it flooding like Houston?
No, I'll answer that, man. See, it's different topography in both of these cities. You know what I mean? First off, it didn't actually hit Corpus. It hit just north of Corpus and Rockport, um, right outside. And Corpus has a huge seawall anyway, so you didn't have to worry about a storm surge. They did get wind and all that, but anybody knows in the hurricanes in this region of the world, the bad part is that eastern side of the storm with that tail whip, which is what Houston got with all that rain. Same thing that happened with Katrina. You know, Katrina actually hit west of New Orleans, but that tail whip that came around there to the east came up and through there and what did it, as far as the storm surge. But anyway, as far as the reporting goes, I'm from Houston. I grew up there. Any Houstonian, anybody who knows Houston knows that it does not take a hurricane, it does not take a
Right.
tropical storm. It doesn't even take a bad thunderstorm for 2 days or anything to cause that type of to cause flooding in general. Flash floods will happen after like a torrential 30, 40-minute rainstorm in Houston, and
Yeah.
that's no exaggeration whatsoever. It will literally happen. You just have to be on your P's and Q's. Most Houstonians know where to go, what roads you can't go on. Like Katy, we used to nickname Katy Lake Katy. Every time it would rain on I-10 and Beltway 8,
Mm-hmm.
it will flood
Yep.
every single year. Every at least 4 or 5 times a year, it will flood just from normal rain. Um, Houston's highest elevation point is somewhere around like 45 to 50 feet. It's a low-lying city. It's like he said, it's naturally not really supposed to be conducive for to be building upon. The soil cannot soak up all this water. It's
That's
the
right.
bayou city for a reason. It's full of bayous. It's full of creeks
That's right.
everywhere to help the drainage to drain into the Buffalo Bayou, which eventually drains into the Gulf of Mexico. Um, but the problem is with the reporting. Let me get back to it. The city management of Houston knew what the hell was going to happen. This a history in this city with evacuations. If we go back to Rita and we go back to Ike, a lot of gentlemen on the panel may not realize this, but when Ike and Rita happened, there was a mass hysteria when it was evacuation. There was almost like 100 deaths just because the evacuation process was very sloppy. It was unorganized. People ran out of gas. People were getting killed on the highway. All kind of different things were happening. Um, Essentially, they've had 10 years to put some type of organized evacuation process in place, which sounds easy, but when you talk about one of the third or fourth biggest metropolis in the country, the city of Houston alone is well over 2 million people in the city. But the city alone is just maybe a third or a quarter of the Houston Metroplex, which is, everything is over like almost 5, 6 million people all in the surrounding areas everywhere.
About 6.5 million, 7 million people.
You can't evacuate that many people off of I-45 to the north, I-10 to the east or west. That's all you got.
And they all under
290 to the
construction.
northwest, 59 to the northeast. That's all you got. Just construction is highways. You can't evacuate that many millions of people. I understand that, but you need to let these people know the real deal. If you're telling people a storm is coming, it's going to be rain, but you're leading them to believe that this is something that's going to come and go on like it normally does, that's one thing. But when you have knowledge and knowing that this storm is going to do like no other storm and sit there and fester and not move and constantly just dump rain for several days, and you don't give these people a heads up or a warning, I have an issue with that with the powers that be in city council or whoever, the mayor, whoever had the power to evacuate and do something at least strategically in certain areas that you knew were prone to heavy flooding.
Yeah.
Get some of these people out of here, do something, have something in place.
So you're under the idea that the mayor and the city government and folks didn't tell the people what they were dealing with.
Well, not only that, that's not to tell them what they're dealing with, because again, being a Houstonian, you already know the deal.
No.
I'm pretty sure that's part of it, but also, I guess, to go deeper, what I didn't elaborate on, when you're a city that's prone to do that, and you just had something happen major 10 years ago, why hasn't there been something in place? That's almost like, somewhere that's prone to ice storms, not having the proper ice trucks or the proper salt and sand mixture to go over bridges. I mean, after you have an ice storm, if you're in Wisconsin, they know how to handle that. We don't know how to handle that here in Dallas. That's why people can't drive in the ice here, because it's not a normal occurrence. When it's a normal perpetual occurrence of flooding, and you know this, and you know that you have a metropolis of 6 million people, you need to start figuring out something within the infrastructure. You need to start figuring out different type of strategy and plans in place, rather than to say, oh, should I tell them or should I not tell them? It needs to be something a little bit more in depth than that.
So you think that they didn't tell everybody and they didn't have a plan?
No, I'm thinking that they did not utilize the knowledge that they had available to safely evacuate where things need to be evacuated, or either have other things in place, other post-storm or rescue things in place to be able to help. Basically, they winged it. They winged it. We've been hearing on the news forever. We know it's an average every 6 to 7 years. There's a storm going to hit the Texas coast.
Got it.
It's been a 10-year stretch. So if we 3 years overdue, it's coming. I mean, I just don't understand how something like that's not in place. California is in place and they're ready for the big earthquake. I mean, why we ain't ready for the big storm?
Okay, so here's what I've been fussing at folks about. People who don't know what was going on days leading up to this storm. How do I know that? Because I know people who say stuff who weren't watching the news on last week, not week before last week. I'm talking about when they first seen Harvey out there. Wasn't nobody paying attention to it. See, if you don't watch the news, several weather stations, if you don't pay attention to what's going on and take it serious, what'll happen is you'll get complacent, right? And so what you'll do is you will hear them say something on TV, and you will hear them say it again. And if you don't stop for a minute to think, because you're going on with your daily life, you'll make the same assumption you're making, which is that wasn't no planning and wasn't nobody telling nobody nothing. That's far from the truth. A lie is told not by you, but by many people who live here, because because their lack of piss poor planning. When you piss poor planning and you know it, it's hard for you to look in the mirror and say, I didn't plan accurately, so let me blame the government. I don't want to blame myself for not doing what I know I'm supposed to do. Here's a prime example.
Hold on, no, I'm gonna stop you there because maybe you didn't hear me when I said that if you're a Houstonian, Houstonians should know better regardless. But hold on. But there is a responsibility for the government that knows more information in their position to have those things in place. It's not the average citizen's responsibility for infrastructure.
It was there. You ain't let me finish. You ain't let me finish.
Well, explain what's in place. You trying to say what people
listen
are
what I'm telling you. No, you're not letting me finish. You heard one thing and you was done listening. I need you to listen for a second. Okay?
No, I'm listening. I'm just correcting what you're saying so you don't put me in one box. Because I'm a native Houstonian and I know Houstonian.
Yeah, but you
You're
weren't
talking
here.
about my native people right now. So that's why I'm trying to make sure
you can't catch feelings. You got to be honest, right? I
I'm
talk about my cousin.
Houston, man. My city's drowning. You know
I talk about my cousin all the time. Okay, I don't catch feelings when I know I'm right. So don't get mad at me. Just listen to what I'm telling you. Okay, now, I'm in Ohio. When I'm looking at the news and I see it's a tropical storm Harvey that could turn into a hurricane, and every day from Monday to Wednesday it's going from 1 to 2 possible to 3 possible. The first thing I did was call my wife. I say, listen, there's a hurricane, there's a tropical storm about to hit. You know what's finna happen? She go, yeah. I say, good. Go get the supplies, batteries, candles, etc., etc. Because I know when the wind blows, our light goes out. And I know on a regular rainy day, Houston floods. You see what I'm saying? I know this.
So we all know that.
Okay. So we already got everything. She went and gassed up full on her truck. On my way back, she texted me when I landed, fill your truck up. Fill your truck up, because she already know. We already know what's going to happen. We done been through Katrina. You understand? We done been through Rita. We done seen all this. So we already know what time it is. We'll go get some ice. I ain't got no ice. Got to go get some. We already know what time it is. So we preparing for the worst. Now, here's what happens. I'm watching the Weather Channel in Ohio. She's watching local news station Houston. When we both get here on Thursday, we're watching the station to see what's happening. We see the mayor every minute of all day, every day, even during the storm, making his way downtown to update the public. Here's what didn't happen, right? He spoke. Now, the all news stations said it. You're looking at a category 4 3, at least 3, that's moving slow, and they told you it's moving about 1 mile an hour. It's gonna sit on Houston. Here's how much rain y'all could expect. They said maybe between 24 to 40. And they said according to our models, right, we saw 24 to 40 inches, but they said one model had about 50. But they didn't believe it. They was like,
when was this though?
This was on the news. This was all during that time frame.
No, I said when. I'm saying when. What day? Thursday? Wednesday?
This might have been Tuesday. The Weather Channel was hitting about 24 to 40 inches on Tuesday. When I got to Houston,
because on Tuesday it was still in the Gulf, and they had a model at that point going, looked like the heavy train going every damn where. So then nobody knew it was going at that.
Oh no, they knew we was going to get some rain. That's for damn sure. So what I'm talking about is the rain.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get rain regardless.
Okay. So they go, okay, so I get in and I'm like, man, they talking about it's gonna be about 40 inches of rain. Houston, fuck. That's what I said. She was like, yeah, but we in a no flood zone. So we all right. I said, yeah, we supposed to be in a no flood zone, so we shouldn't have no issues. All right. So through the storm, damn right, all we had was water in the streets, but all it was doing was draining. So I was like, shit, we graving. We were graving the whole time. Because we made sure when we bought our house that it wasn't in the flood zone. But back to what I'm saying. The mayor, the police chief, and the judge, all on the damn news station. They brought up Rita and they brought up Ike. What you talking about, they said it. They said, listen, Houston right now has a population of at least 1 or 2 million more than it had with Rita. I mean, it might not even be that many, but it's a lot, right? So we know Houston get about
10 years ago, it might.
We know Houston get about 40,000 people. Yeah, so we know we get a lot of people. And they said, ain't no way we're gonna be able to evacuate 6.5 million people. So and you know, Houston's got infrastructure that they're building now. They're building new highways and bypasses and everything right now. So when you look at that, on top of the number of people here, on top of the personalities that's here, and the differences in cultures, multicultural that Houston's got, when they're saying, listen, if you're in a flood zone area, you need to make sure you get the high ground. They say if you know your area is prone to flooding, you need to get the high ground.
And most people did that.
No, most people didn't. They said don't. No, most people did, yes, but they said they didn't say evacuate. They said
that's the key. That's the key. So hold on. Before you keep going, I want to make man, because I'm losing my points now. Now hold on. You made some good points up. I wanted to say that's the key point I was trying to make. Everything you said up to that point, everybody did prepare. People were getting gas. You weren't the only one that filled up your truck Thursday.
Well, I'm not talking about
people get gas. People, but hold on. I'm saying in general. You know, I'm generally speaking.
Devin, we lost your video.
So people. Oh, my bad. So
right.
So what I'm saying is people were preparing. People went to the grocery stores. People had stuff, but people were preparing for what they were preparing or what they were expecting. See, the thing is, like you said, the mayor got on. They went on and they said, Rita, they said this. You can expect this. You can expect that. We're expecting this and that. But the key thing you just said, the reason I stopped you at that particular moment, because he did not say evacuate.
Nope, didn't have to.
That particular word, but see that particular word evacuate, when you hear that heightens, that engages another level of urgency, a sense of urgency. That lets you know, when you hear sincerity from them saying evacuate after what that city has been through the last evacuation, and they pulled the switch to evacuate, that raises the level of urgency. Other than that, you think they're just spewing out the same stuff that we always hear in that city. That'd be just like some people in Kansas and Missouri hearing about a tornado warning. They don't listen until what happened in Joplin a couple years ago, and now they pay attention. You see what I'm saying? So you can't say that. I'm not saying that people didn't prepare.
But let's keep it 100. Keep it 100. Let's keep it 100.
They were prepared for what they were advised to be prepared for.
They were advised to be prepared.
But here's the same thing though. Let me be fair to one degree. I don't think there's too much besides an evacuation, a successful one, which I don't really know could happen with 6.5 million people, that could have changed that outcome. Nobody could have predicted that type of massive flooding to look like that. Nobody's ever seen that happen. Right. Nobody. Right. There's no living soul on this planet that's ever seen a major city like that flooded like that before.
That's right.
So how could we ever imagine that happening? So I do understand that, but I don't think that they did enough to raise the heightened urgency to get more people out of that city, so it wouldn't be that many people trapped.
Well, here's the thing. They knew people were going to be trapped, because I was trapped, but I wasn't in any danger. What happens is, right, and you're right, but what happens is, when they say, or when you're told, right, but you gotta be watching the news and paying attention to this. Again, a lot of people don't pay attention to weather forecasts like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They go, shit.
I think and one of those things, a lot of people hear it and they're not gonna move anyway, regardless.
Yeah. A lot of people just wasn't gonna go nowhere.
A lot of people, and then there's people that can't move. I mean, then we can go through the whole different, people in different situations, what they could do, got to go to work, this and that, yada yada yada.
They were trying to go to work in the storm, bro. They was trying to go to work in the flood. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I'm like, man, they said.
But I'm saying it's that sense of urgency. That different level of urgency could have changed the mind of some people, is all I'm saying. That could have changed the mind of some people that went on, tried to drive to work and got caught in the flood,
You listen, if you'd have watched TV, if you'd have paid attention to what's going on, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna get on that road when I know you don't know. When it's a regular rainy day, people drowning in a ditch somewhere because of the rain. So
yeah, you're right. You can't, it's one born every day, man. You're right, man, but folks, I ain't gonna do it.
The mayor and everybody said, listen, do not go out on them roads. I know it's gonna flood, and I know you're gonna want to get away from it, but don't go on those roads. They said it 1,000 times. The majority of the people, casualties we see now, got on them roads. Okay, thinking they gonna beat it or thinking they can get through it. And ain't no way in hell your big rig truck and your sedan and that other bullshit y'all got riding in is gonna get through them flooded waters. And I know they listen to the radios and got their cell phones. They see this shit live. You are not gonna get through that water. Okay? So stay put. Go to the second floor. If you got to get rescued by boat because you on the roof of your house, that's much better than you trying to drive and getting rescued on a truck that's in a car that's damn near over the head in water.
Exactly.
But this is what people were doing, and they was trying to avoid this. So imagine, like you said earlier, imagine if you said evacuate, and you know there ain't nobody going nowhere. You know this, but you say evacuate. And the people that don't evacuate try to evacuate at the end when on Saturday when the water's starting to come.
But see, those are the decisions. See, that's when I initially stated. I said the decision. I can only imagine that decision that they had to make
to stay put.
Given that history, those are some of the things that you're saying right now on the table. Man, what if they just the stragglers at the last minute trying to get out when they see this and that, and then those ones gonna get caught in the flood. You know, those are decisions that had to be made.
Yes.
But it's really one of those things, man, to where it's like this, bro. Whether you believe in God or whatever it is, man, to call this an act of God is an act of nature, whatever you want to refer to it as, man, but you cannot stop Mother Nature, man. Man is not going to win that battle. I don't care what preparation you do. I don't care what kind of walls you build. I don't care what kind of, how tall of a building or a platform you build. Mother Nature will always prevail.
So I think you guys are touching on stuff that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
People of the city. You got people having to make tough decisions, whether to go to work or not, whether to evacuate or not. And a lot of people don't have the capital to actually do that. So they have to make a decision based on their livelihood. So I think you get a lot of people staying in the city trying to go to work because that's what they got to do to live anyway.
Exactly.
And they risk their lives for it. So in the grand scheme of things, when you look back at it, it's stupid to put a job over your safety.
Well, it's Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yeah, in the moment, hey, I gotta make this money so I can pay rent. I ain't gonna have no house no way, something like that.
Bruh, don't do it.
So let's recap. I think before the show started, Devin said there was like 24.5 trillion gallons of rainfall that fell.
I think they said 9 trillion.
It's enough. That's a damn sure.
It's something crazy.
There was over 40 inches. We know it was over 40 inches of rain, and it could have been over 50 inches of rain.
In some parts,
And there was about $40 billion estimated dollars worth of damage, and probably more when it's all said and done. Insurance companies are going to be scrambling. You have Red Cross who's doing. I think they're doing a hell of a job. They're just. I just hear all kind of people just donating to them, and
everybody's doing great, Joe. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So,
on that note, I got to give a shout out to the local Houston hero, man, Mattress Mac.
That's right.
I grew up with Mattress Mac. Again, as y'all know, I'm from Houston as a kid. That was our dude we emulated, man. We'd run around and we'd do the gallery furniture, save you money, reach in our back pocket and jump up and throw the money in the air, man. This dude has been holding it down for Houston, Texas since I was a little youngin', man. And I mean, this ain't nothing new to this dude. This ain't nothing new. This is what he does. This is just who this man is. And if you don't know what I'm speaking about right now, y'all, Mattress Mac is the man who opened up the doors to his huge gallery furniture showroom floors to anybody who needed that assistance. He's done this before with Katrina as well. He has some evacuees from Katrina that still work for his company. Not only did he bring them in, he interviewed them, gave them jobs, and they still work there to this day after Katrina.
Very nice. I did not know that. That's great.
Yeah, man. So this dude is real, man. Shout out to Trey the Truth too, man. He was out there as well, helping out and stuff. He was on CNN. He was out there getting it in, not just donating money, but out there with his raincoat on and his mud boots out there with them cats on the boats rescuing people out their houses, man. Shout out to Trey the Truth, man. Everybody out there helping out.
Nice.
Hey, and real talk, man. And even we was watching ABC 13. Hey, man, I don't know about the other stations, bro, but those reporters that was out there in the mud, out there in that water, they was on them boats too, out there saving folks. They'll put their mic down, their camera down there to get people in, get them kids in there. They wasn't playing, bro. I promise you they wasn't playing. Them folks, look, it's hard to say because my wife and I was emotional about it, man. But, and I know you was gonna touch on that too, Joe. But hey, you know what? Let me let you finish what you were saying, Joe. Go ahead, man. You was finna say something about you was about to ask us something, right?
No, I was just giving a little bit of the facts and the background. The death toll was estimated, I think, around 20 people. I think the last time I heard was 19 people, and that was a day ago, so it might have risen, and I'm sure it'll rise some more as the water recedes. I just want to know, has the rain stopped now?
In Houston, but not in Beaumont. I think Beaumont and Port Arthur them still got a little rain. You know,
they lost their water supply today.
Shoot. IT East, bro. Hey, man.
Yeah, didn't Beaumont lose their public water supply?
Shit.
So they don't even have water in Beaumont. And
this is the Gulf of Mexico, bro. Beaumont, between
the chemical plant blew up.
There's a chemical plant out there that's struggling.
All that.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's, man, but we got smashed. But that little part of Port Arthur and Beaumont, they was catching them Hail Marys too. And the crazy thing about it is they was catching them days after we did. So imagine Houston getting pummeled. And y'all out there like, man, we getting a little bit of rain. But that thing coming right at y'all. And those residents decided to stay. A lot of people left, but a lot of people decided to stay. And they was out there getting them off the boats, out there rescuing them.
Okay.
Yeah,
so let's talk
about,
let's talk about the devastation. I know a lot of people have seen the news and seen the images of I-10 flooded all the way up to the interstate sign. And you can't see anything but water. It just looks like a big river, but it's a highway. And you've seen the houses underwater. You've seen the people with the cars underwater. You've seen underpasses full to the brim with water, and it just looks like there's no way to survive. There's like a real life water world.
That's right.
Judge, have you been
All I can say is, man.
Oh, go ahead.
All I can say is don't buy no used cars up here, man. Don't buy no used cars in DFW, Austin, or nothing in the next, 6 months or so, because they probably flood cars. Just hang that up, man.
Real talk.
Check the Carfax.
That's good advice.
That's all I'm saying.
Judge, have you been out since?
Yeah, I went out yesterday when the streets was gray. Or the powder white they normally are. Hey, listen, I went out yesterday. I think the day before I went out. Like I said, we would go out during the storm and check our streets, check the lakes behind the house. We took some pictures and stuff. But we didn't go. We didn't leave the neighborhood, and we didn't do that because the water was high all around us. Although we weren't flooding, the streets were pretty high. And only my truck would have made it through that water. And so, you know me, like I said, when they said stay home, I'm staying home. And so, wasn't no rolling out in them roads for me. I ain't trying to sightsee.
Gotcha. So let's talk a little bit about the responses to the hurricane. You had a lot of celebrities that were, pouring out support and donating just a ton of money. But you also had people with negative views about people who didn't say. It's what people did not do. They got a lot of media attention. specifically Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and Joel Osteen, who is the pastor to Lakewood Church in Houston. It's Lakewood, right?
Yeah, it's Lakewood.
Yeah, Lakewood, and it's in Houston. It's in the city of Houston. So they were asking for, well, people were calling for that church to be open because it seats 16,000 people or something like that. It's like a stadium basically. Uh, what do you guys think about that? About the response to him not saying anything, and just people just kind of jumping on him and just kind of memeing him, and he just got a real bad rap throughout the whole uh time the storm was going on.
Well, it's not. Well, it's not just because of that one incident. Just like I said, just like Mattress Mac isn't being held a hero for this one act. He has a track record. I guess a lot of people in Houston say the same thing about this pastor in his church. Basically, there's a history with this church that his father used to run this church, and at that time, it was considered a respectable, meaningful pillar of the community and whatnot. Um, but he passed on and sent it on to his son Joel, and the history is basically that he takes on the church, and basically instead of keeping it a church, he turns it into a business and grew it into a big mega church. Is really more of a business or an empire rather than really what church is traditionally supposed to be about. Um, he's been getting a bad rep about that for years. So I mean, it didn't take much for the memes to come out for anything like that, because again, if you know the history of this dude in this church, then that's what it's all about. The same way people from Houston know all about Mattress Mac, so we're not surprised at all to see him open up his. He just got introduced to the nation, and that's all that was. Houstonians been knowing this dude for decades. So same thing with the Lakewood Church.
Yeah.
It's more of a Houston local thing. So like the people nationwide who aren't really from there, don't know that history, don't really understand. Like why are they going at him like that? For not it's because it's a history there. It's a track record.
Well, what's the track record?
Of just not being there for the community, being a business person, being not being that. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I don't know the dude personally. I'm saying that's where the general because I mean, I'm not saying I have a personal view, and I'm laying out what
you've been
of
hearing.
why the memes. Yeah, well, no, not what I've been hearing. So don't put that in my head. I'm letting you know what the foundation is of why the memes are coming out. Why they going at him that way is because of that transition of the church, from the Lakewood Church, from when his father ran it to when he's now currently running it, and more turning into a business empire. And a lot of people have an issue with making, not just his, but mega churches in general, that they're not really real churches. They're basically just cash places. You can't
Church
speak to the pastor.
No, never mind.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, but it's on just on a huge scale with those. You know what I'm saying?
Never mind.
I mean that church, Lakewood Church, in specifically, is a very. I think it's the biggest church, if I'm not mistaken, in the country.
Well, it's in the Rockets used to play there. It's I think they built it out of the old Summit back in the day in the '90s when the Rockets was winning back to back to back and all that. They played in the Summit, so basically that church is the old arena that the Rockets used to play in.
Okay, and
that's how big it is.
That's been going on for a while as far as people talking about Joel. I mean, he's very popular, and there are definitely a lot of detractors from him, and it may be for good reason, it may not be, I don't know, but it's definitely very well documented throughout the years. I know I've heard of it, and I've never been to his church in my life. I've driven past it, but I've never been there before. So it's definitely something going on there, but it seemed like people were attacking him, and he finally, there was somebody that said the church was flooded, they're not going to open it up. And then they finally opened it up. When was that, Curtis? I think they opened it up.
Yesterday.
Was it Wednesday?
Yeah, it was maybe a day or two ago or something.
No, yesterday, probably Wednesday or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did open it up eventually, but at first they were saying it was flooded and they couldn't house anybody or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That was strange, but you had a lot of people calling them out, celebrities, uh, non-celebrity people
Well,
in the area.
so here's the internet social media gift and curse. The curse means the bullshit is real, right? The bullshit is people who don't live here and who ain't from here, who hear something and now they're making an opinion about a person and an organization, and it's mostly built on hate, admiration, and confusion start. And see what the media does, meaning the news stations and their blogging radios and the goddamn websites, start curving and spewing shit, right?
Yeah.
I know this because they did it with the Houston executives. So you'll watch CNN and USA Today, and they'll take one thing that the mayor is saying and then turn it into some other shit for some headlines. And then they'll start broadcasting, right? They'll never broadcast that the decisions that they made save lives. That's without question. Decisions that they made saved more lives than probably a mass evacuation would have, because of what we know that water did and what it's capable of doing. But they wouldn't do that. And so they were pissing off. When I say they pissed off, I'm talking about the mayor, the judges, the fire chiefs, the police chiefs, the governor, because everybody was on that, oh, well, this is Katrina type of bullshit, right? And the ignorant amongst us who get their information off Twitter, who didn't watch the news, who wasn't paying attention to what was going on, got that shit off of Twitter and Facebook. The ignorant start sharing shit, right? And we know what happens when we share shit, because I always say this on the group meet, on our hangouts. When we start sharing shit amongst ignorant people, dumb shit start to come out. And so here's a prime example of, and it's not on you, right? But what you find is people will say, oh, well, Joel Osteen didn't open up his church. Well, first of fucking all, it's raining and flooding. Who the fuck finna go down there from wherever they live to open up the goddamn church when it wasn't even, okay, so there's a program, and he even touched on this process, okay? There are major areas in Houston that are specifically designed for catastrophic events. How do I know this? Because my unit, and I was there, we get with disaster units from DC and from all over, Coast Guard and all, every year, and we sit down and they talk about COOP, right? Contingency of operations, right? Shit that the ignorant know nothing about, right? Their businesses know nothing about. Disaster recovery, incident response, and contingency of operations. How do you do shit when a disaster hits, right? The ignorant know nothing about this. Celebrities don't know shit about this. They talk celebrity shit, right? So what they do is they go off what somebody's saying rather than watching what people do. And so if you know contingency operations, because I know you know, Joe, the shit you got in place ain't necessarily in everybody's know. So imagine when Joel gets online and he says, there's a process in place. When the city is ready for our church, they'll call us and let us know. In the meantime, our doors stay closed. The ignorant among you go, oh, well, he don't want to open up his church. He's not God-like. The ignorant, the dumbasses know nothing about processes, just like they know nothing about when it's goddamn it time for it to rain and it's finna flood, get your ignorant ass up out of there. Those people don't know that. Don't take your ass on them roads. Don't do it. They don't know any better. They continue with their day-to-day because they're complacent. Okay? The church doesn't open until because you can't take a facility and turn it into a refugee spot. It has to be set up in a specific way to house people for many days. You've got to feed, you got to clothe, you got to clean, you got to have disinfectant and supplies. And that shit ain't just magically there. You understand what I'm saying? The shit's not magically there. Now,
it magically appeared at gallery furniture.
No, it didn't. Stop the madness. Because you had the National Guard up there. Don't do it. You know you can't do it. Now I said there's the ignorance among us. So don't be one of them by making assumptions. Okay? The gallery guy took his own. First of all, they weren't hit as hard where he's at. And he knows that. So what they did was they made sure they had a place for the people to go to. That's the difference. Don't put the two in the same spot. Plus, I guarantee you one thing about this gentleman. He's a great guy. He planned for this shit. That's his private business. They don't use government dollars. They don't have government funding or government subsidies. You got to see the ignorant know nothing about this. The ignorant just say shit, right? Critical thinking is paramount when you're doing this. Now, he's got private dollars with his private money. He can do what the fuck he want to do with it. When you got that church that gets government subsidies, your ass can't just do what you want to do. You understand? Am I clear on me? If you're listening, you can't just do what you want to do. The city and the state has to be in line, and they got to give you the green light, else your ass can get shut down, because if somebody dies in there, your ass at fault. You gotta know this. So, I'm gonna get off the soapbox a bit. Now that we done cleared up the nonsense, had to do this shit on live because I can't type this out there. It take too long. You got to hear it in my voice. Okay.
so go ahead. Go ahead. I wanted to make clear though to the viewers about the landscape, where this church is actually located. Is it even accessible to everybody where it is? Because I know it's in the city. So can you even get there?
Even if it is, it's not a refugee. It's not a spot for evacuees. It's not that. Until it gets designated that, don't take your ass to Lakeview because you want to be there. That's not how this ride. They're going to bust your ass where they want you to go. This is how it goes. They give you they give you an option. You either go here or here or here. That's what they said. George R. Brown, NRG, Toyota.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
I think so.
Yep, we lost him. Hope he's all right. But anyway, Devin, he was going good there. I think he has some good insight as far as the designation of the relief areas. Another topic, we'll just move along here. Another topic was President Trump. He came and made some remarks, pre-storm and during the storm, that didn't sound very encouraging to the people or the populace in general. And he said something like, this is the biggest storm all time, great, or be safe. Or he didn't say, he didn't have a plan for people. He didn't do, it was almost the same, if not worse, than what George Bush did for Katrina.
Yeah, it's worse.
Because he really didn't lift a finger. George Bush at least took a helicopter and flew over the top, of the people in New Orleans. He showed his face. I don't know if Trump even went there yet.
They said he tried to come and then he went straight to like another rally in like Springfield, Missouri. But I don't even know if he came to Texas. They didn't say nothing. I know he had a rally in Springfield, but really he was doing more bragging and boasting about it's like I think one tweet that he put out was like, "Wow, they're telling me this is the biggest storm in 500 years. Wow." And then another one was like, well, something about I'm going to be in Missouri. That's a great state that voted for me, and yada yada yada. Like he still talk about campaign and votes he got rather than talk about these people, losing everything in Houston. So apparently, this so-called president obviously isn't in touch with reality or in touch with the real citizens of this country. But
Yeah,
that's a whole nother topic.
yeah, I think he dropped the ball on that. He could have reassured the people of Houston and the surrounding areas. He could have addressed uh, the media. I mean, a lot better. He didn't even really talk about it until it was already past what it was. I mean, the damage was already pretty much done by the time he even
Hmm.
said anything.
I mean, but
So
but that's just who this dude is. He doesn't care. I mean, he's irrelevant to me. This guy doesn't have a. I don't care. Next topic. Talking about no Trump.
okay,
Well, what'd you
so
say? So we're talking about Trump and something else. Somebody else's response. I forgot what you said. Oh, you're talking about Trump. All right.
yeah,
I'm tripping.
Trump. Uh, the other thing I had was, and the aftermath is still you feeling the effects still, and this is a week later. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much today was the start of it. It started probably yesterday evening, but today was the big rush
Uh,
uh, where gasoline and oil companies were saying that they have a shortage of fuel, and there is a mass
mm-hmm.
rush to get fuel today, all the way up to Dallas and the surrounding cities and the surrounding states, even Mississippi and Louisiana. You're feeling the backlash from Hurricane Harvey. What do you think about this whole gas rush? I mean, people have been standing in line for 45
Yeah.
minutes to an hour and a half to
Yeah.
2 hours. I've heard today, just waiting to get
Well,
gasoline. And then there's been tons of gas stations they're out of fuel. They're out of fuel.
exactly.
So you
Yeah.
get this rush.
Yeah, you get this rush of people trying. I mean, the thing is, we could see a crisis again like 1979, or this could be something temporary, or it could be worse than that gas crisis. Um, Me being the semi conspiracy theorist I am, I believe like, the oil companies are rigging this somehow, and but really we're not making it any better, making a mad dash to the pumps to take it. So we are, affecting the supply as well, by what's running to the tanks and getting all the gas. I
Right.
mean, we're affecting the supply ourselves, you know what I'm saying, more dramatically just by that news coming out. And I think
Yeah.
that's also attributed to just how social media is now. Once anything gets out that fast, people go into panic and try to react to it real
Wildfire.
quick, and it's crazy. It's
So
and it
I
may not
would.
have been that bad, but we may have made it worse.
Yeah, I think so. I think the people made it worse by spreading it like it is. Spread. I thought it was something to do. I mean, this is a holiday weekend. This is Labor Day weekend. It's the third most traveled holiday weekend uh, of the year. Period. So
Uh-huh.
I thought it was something maybe to boost gas prices because gas prices have spiked, and I think the mad rush from social media uh, has caused the crisis to even go farther. I think more gas is just being consumed and is less of a supply just because of that. I know there's ExxonMobil put out a statement saying that they've reduced the production due to the storm,
That's right.
and it was a couple other. I think Texaco as well put out a statement.
Valero as well.
Yeah, Valero as well.
Hmm.
So when
All
you
of them.
when you when you got those companies putting out statements, and then you got the hysteria of people saying, "Oh, I got to get gas because I got to be able to last to next week." I think you're gonna have a crisis, and it's going on right now.
Uh-huh.
That's right. But also be
Yeah.
mindful. right? That the majority of the petroleum is ran through either the rails or through the truckers driving that shit from out of this area where we at. Yeah. I-10 east and west was down for days. I-10 east is down now. Anybody east of where we at now ain't finna get no gas no time soon from down this way. So the gas prices down here have always been cheaper because of the Gulf petroleum refinery industry being where it's at. So imagine when this area gets hit, refineries close, oil production stops, or petroleum stops, and oil production stops. In order for people who work in these industries to be with their families during a flood, because you don't have workers there. They're dealing with water. So imagine all this at one time. There's going to be a shortage in petroleum because they can't get it out of here. It's not happening. So here's what we know. Anytime there's a storm, especially in the Gulf, that affects the coastal cities from New Orleans to Texas, there's going to be a spike in gas in this area because this is where they get it from. Now, I don't think up north they've got the same problem. I think only in these particular areas where you see a shortage in gas simply because a lot of the roads were closed off for the last week. I think Dallas will start to see a change by next week simply because the roads leading into Dallas are now open, but they weren't 2 days ago. So what you had there is what you had.
Yeah.
And so the speculators, right? The speculators move gas move the price of gas. They speculate on the price of gas daily. When the refineries say they're shut down, when everything is stopped, especially moving petroleum, there's a break, a gap before the price increases. Okay. So just because you didn't see it a few days ago, don't mean that it wasn't, that the change didn't occur and then you see it afterwards. There has to be a gap before you don't just bam. It usually take a day or two for something to move. You see what I'm saying? So when that happens, you see gasoline or the price of gas move. Natural disasters determine gasoline prices. Availability determines gasoline prices. Production, how much is being outputted, how much is outputted in the U.S., how much oil is being produced in Saudi Arabia. When the Saudis are pushing a whole lot of oil, gas prices are plummeting. That's why you saw gas down for a while a year ago, and people were losing their jobs, and the refineries were panicking. You saw that because the Saudis were pushing a whole lot of crude, right? So there are many things that determine or that messes with the fluctuation of gas prices and the price of oil. And so this is, again, before I got cut off, the ignorant among us don't know, right? They're not in tune to how markets work and how shit happens. So they speculate off their ignorance and start making shit up and then start sharing shit, right? Memes and gifts and sharing shit ain't necessarily facts. It's rare that I find a meme that's a fact. This motherfucker speculating, making shit up. But they make it up, put it out on the internet, and if 5 people share it, 3 people gonna like it, 2 people gonna reshare it, and then there's a whole lot of dumb motherfuckers because they don't know nothing. They don't read.
I like that. I like your description of how going viral works.
Yeah, man, sharing stupidity. We gotta stop it.
Yeah.
If you want to share some shit, share some knowledge. Don't share some stupid shit. I know that's hard to do, folks. I know it's hard.
So, Judge, we touched on President Trump and his response and reaction. I don't know if you want to
comment. No comment.
Okay, well, good. Moving.
Why not? That's your
Moving right
president. I
along.
want to hear what you got to say about your. No, we can't move on from that. What you think about your president's response?
What did he say?
I don't know. You don't know. You don't keep up with your president,
I
and
mean,
you know everything
shit.
else
No,
that he's doing.
I ain't following him. I listen. I ain't got time to follow what the
All
president
right.
doing. He's the most powerful person in the world. I ain't got time for that. Listen,
Okay.
as long
We'll
as
move on.
listen, as long as the people that's in charge of taking care of the business doing what they supposed to do, I ain't worried about him. He ain't gonna come down here and lift a finger. Ain't no president is. FEMA got that. That's what FEMA for. Their job is to go down there and handle it. So when you the head honcho, you point the finger and say, all right, FEMA director, go do your damn job. And the FEMA director got his thousands of employees, and he point his finger and say, y'all go do your goddamn job. And so you get all the way down to the person that's going down there with a sack and some damn shovels doing their goddamn job.
So you don't think
that's what everybody get paid for.
You don't think it's a responsibility of the president to offer some empathetic words or do something and show some type of compassion to the people who are losing everything?
No, looking for people to say shit. No,
well, let me. Since you say you don't know what he said, I'm gonna tell you. He shot out a tweet talking about some. Wow, they're telling me this is a great storm. Wow, I hope they're okay. Wow, you know, I'm going to be in Missouri. They voted for me. They voted me in last year. You know, this what this dude tweets out in the midst of a flood.
Listen,
and look at
why.
you
see,
good with that?
here's our
that's
problem,
your dude.
right? Here's our
No Trump.
Here's our
that's
problem.
great.
We always looking for somebody to say some shit. I'm not concerned with what somebody's saying. I'm concerned with what you're doing. I know
he ain't doing nothing.
He ain't, because he's not doing nothing because he ain't supposed to. What are you gonna do? He got a FEMA director. That's his job. His job.
Wait, Judge. Now you made it just sound like being a president of the United States is the easiest job
in
America.
No, I ain't.
Because if something happened, all he got to say is, "You go do your job," and that's it.
Listen, what I'm saying is, if I'm the head honcho king for a day, I appoint people to take care of shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When shit get real, I got a governor, I got a mayor, several of them. I got senators and representatives. I got an entire goddamn department, several of them, dedicated to handling this business. When you see me, I'm like, damn, it's flooding, man. Man, well wishes. My folks is down there. I got the guard, I got the Coast Guard at my disposal. I got the reserves at my disposal. I got the Marine reserves at my disposal. And so what I do is I give the green light to the person who is in charge of doing emergency management, right? Because that's their job, and give them the money to take care of business. FEMA.
All right.
Down here, handle this business. You saw Marines, you saw reserves, you saw Coast Guard.
That ain't what the point is. The point is he ain't saying nothing inspirational.
Listen.
He ain't come to visit and chill out.
He came. He went to corpus. So that's what he did. He went to corpus. Listen, again, there are a group of us in the United States that look for somebody to say some shit to us to make us feel some type of way. I'm not one of them.
We know where you're saying on it.
I'm about what you do, not what you say.
You good with the president being a jackass. Joe, what you got next?
I ain't say all that. Look, don't even know why.
I do kind of feel I'm siding with Devin on this. I feel like you're not holding him accountable.
Yeah, what I said. Accountable for what? Accountable for what? Because he ain't said nothing nice. What you want me to tell you? What I hold accountable for?
I mean,
we see where he at, Joe. We kicking a dead horse.
No. What I hold him accountable for?
He's the president of the United States. You would think he would act more presidential. You would think he would address the nation and give his condolences to the people of Houston. You would think he would have had something to say.
So you along with Devin, you want him to say something sweet.
No.
To make you feel good.
No, I don't care about it being sweet. Just say something. Acknowledge that this is happening. It's a sad time.
He flew down here. What more you want from him?
Oh, so he did show up.
Yeah, he was in Corpus.
When did he come down there?
See, you don't know. See what I said?
I didn't know. No, we already discussed this.
Okay, good.
We already discussed it.
Him and his wife flew down to see the area. They did a flyby over in the area to see some of the damage.
They
put President Bush.
Well, what he supposed to do? What you want him to do?
Put
your hands on something.
He even touch the wheels there.
You want to touch the grass?
Touch the wheels down.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about you just saying that? We was just talking about that. We was like, I don't know if he came down and did what Bush did, but it looked like that's what he did.
He came down and stood around, and they sat down with the governor, and they talked about how they was gonna make sure that the governor had the money and the state had the money, and the federal government was gonna back them and make sure they had what they needed in order to get things back.
They did that over the phone last week. They did that over the telephone last week.
I know, but like you said, you want to hear something? Now you got to see him here. He showed up, got out, right? I don't know if President Bush got out. He got out, stood on the ground, sat down.
What you got in that
listen,
man?
All I'm saying is he showed up. He sat down with the governor on live TV. I don't know. Now, again, I ain't for or against none of it. Okay? I don't give a damn because I'm all for the Cajun Navy. But what I'm saying is, he came. If you want to talk now, he came. He might not have said nothing inspirational because he's not an inspirational talker. Don't even listen. Don't even ask for this. Come on, y'all. Don't ask for this.
Okay, I give you that. I give you that. He's not an inspirational talker.
He ain't finna sit out here and say something that sound good to you. Okay, so let's see if the money show up. Let's see if FEMA does what they're supposed to do. Let's see if the Guard and the Reserves and the Coast Guard folks, who all the people that's done an excellent job over the last few days.
That ain't
let's
the point.
See what happens afterwards, because that's the most important part. Remember, this is a republic, so allow the governor to do his job
like
in a republic. No. I'm a libertarian, sir. Look that up.
Spoken like a Republican.
No, sir.
Like a Republican.
We don't talk like that. Libertarian. Don't ever forget it. But this is a republic. Allow the governor to do his thing.
Okay. Looks like we got Reggie joining us. We're about to wrap up, man.
Okay, that's good.
Hey, hold up, Joe. Why he on live?
He just pulled a Trump. No, that joke just pulled a Trump. He just said, "Man, just say I showed up." Pull the Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I'll get fined.
You want the credit? You want the credit on the chat that you showed
up? Hey, did you get enough groceries to last you a couple days?
Yeah, I got everything.
Get some Lunchables.
What'd you get?
Was you stuck in the line for gas? Is that where you was at?
No, I got gas this morning before everybody was woke.
Was you get some Lunchables, man?
Mine and the white car. Yeah, everything.
He got some Fruit Loops and some Apple Jacks.
you able to take care of yourself and not leave the house? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, me and the son.
All right. Okay. Well,
I
don't know. I didn't have anything else. This show, I was just gonna go off the hurricane. If you guys have anything else, the floor is open.
Hey, I got one other.
I can't even think.
I'm gonna tell you how fake this shit is, right? Because I was talking before I got cut out about the bullshit. You notice how on the internet you see a picture of a goddamn shark supposed to be on 290? See,
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
How about they go, hey,
yeah,
here's a real goal. Where's y'all's president y'all voted for in Texas? Obama is down here. Obama wasn't down here. That was an old ass picture where he was in the soup kitchen years ago doing some shit. And they posted on the internet like Obama was down here for Harvey in the soup kitchen. You see the dumb shit they do? And people will believe in this shit. That shit was posted millions. It was shared millions of times.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was because you can't.
A million of dumbasses.
You can't.
It's a millions of dumbasses right now who repost that shit because they don't know nothing.
That's true, and people do reshare and repost things that they have no clue. They didn't fact check anything. They just posted. It's a button click. It happens. That's what it is.
It's happening. Not it happens. It's happening.
No, it's gonna continue to happen. It's gonna continue to happen. That's what social media is. That's why it's not a credible news source.
I've been saying it, but I don't believe me. Where you get it from?
Not to say that it's never accurate, but it's not credible because you can't. Most people don't verify it.
I will say this.
That's actually a topic for another day, actually.
Yeah. But I will say this. For the Hurricane Harvey, social media saved thousands. I will say that. And that damn app that the Cajun Navy had saved lives. I don't know who app that is, but their ass just got paid.
Well,
somebody finna buy that.
Oh, why you mentioned that? I hadn't heard about the Cajun Navy app. Go ahead and explain.
Well, it wasn't their app, but it's an app that they were using on their phones. It's like CB as well as a way for people who are out and about to send messages of where they at when they stranded. They used that app and they saved lives. That app, whoever owned it, finna get paid because that was better than the emergency broadcast system and the shit that the government put up for their web pages. That right there single-handedly made this shit what it was down here for them to go out there and find you exactly where you at, talk to you the whole time, get you, and bring you back. I forget what it was called, Zulu. What the fuck is that app called? I'll tell you. Y'all go. But that app, oh yeah. They talked about it the whole time. I don't know why I ain't know what it is. Starts with a Z though.
Okay. Reggie, you got anything to add? You want to put your 2 cents in before we bid farewell?
Zello.
What's it called?
It's called Zello. Like hello.
Zillow app?
Yeah.
Oh, Zello, not Zillow.
Yeah, Zello.
Zillow, you looking for a place to live, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Zello.
Right.
Zello.
Okay.
Yep.
Shout out to Zillow. Shout out to the Zillow app. Devin, what you got? You got any parting words for the people? You got any topics you want to discuss or anything you want to point out?
No, I'm good.
Well, all right. This has been episode 12 of No One Can Agree. Subscribe, people. Subscribe. We need the followers. Share this out on your social media. We're working on a social media. I know we kind of slacking on that, so we're gonna get that going, and hopefully we'll get more and more followers. And the viewership will increase, and we'll get more interest in these deep discussions on different topics throughout the weeks. I'm Joe Love. That's Judge. That's Devin, and that's Reggie, who didn't really say anything. You did that twice to me in the last month, man. Showed up and didn't do nothing. Episode 12, No One Can Agree. Y'all have a good one.
Oh, peace.